Jag önskar dig en trevlig födelsedag, Emil. Det var
Did you just insult him? And welcome to RBLE Global Tracks, Leipzig's very first RB Leipzig podcast in English. This one is brought to you by Richard and Mario. And amongst us, we are season ticket holders, passionate supporters, and really not so neutral local pundits, I must admit. Both of us have been following Leipzig football since their childhood days. So if you want to hear things about RB Leipzig, if you want to capture the mood of the fans in the city, and if it is important for you to go beyond pure statistics and numbers, you're in the right place. We're delighted to welcome you on board, so let's go. Hello, Richard. How are you this evening?
Hey, Mario. Thanks for your invitation. I'm fine. I'm excited. What's up next in our show today?
Brilliant. And what are we talking about today? It's the beginning of the week, so it's sort of an additional episode that we're doing, but it's going to be some very busy times ahead of us. So what are the topics for today?
Okay, we got 3 topics today. Obviously, our key takeaways from the last match against Darmstadt 98, some club-related news too, and last but not least, our preview of game number 2 of our 7-game stints, week 3 in the UCL against the Red Star Belgrade.
Came around quickly, hasn't it? I mean, third match already, but we're playing at home, so it's really going to be interesting. So yeah, Richard, I must admit, hats off to you again. When we look at the Darmstadt game on Saturday, and as we were watching in the second half, I felt that the opponent Darmstadt did lose a little bit of strength, and their fitness wasn't that great. I was really surprised that they sort of tailed off 20 minutes before the end of the game, which I recall is something you predicted, and something else you got spot on. That's the score, the final score, 3-1 to RB Leipzig. So well done. You were the optimistic guy. I was less optimistic. Nevertheless, 3 points are in our bag. What are your key takeaways from that game, Richard?
My key takeaways are RBL is still bloody efficient, and that helps winning massively at this point. We have some key players lost in the off season in the summer, and try to compensate that with new additions, and it's quite normal that these players have to find each other and act like a unit, and our team is lacking, but Openda scores every time he got the ball to his feet, and as
It's
long
amazing.
as long as this as he keeps this up, it's not that important that we are playing not so great, because in the end of the day, at the end of the day, who wins is right.
It's that simple.
Sometimes.
Who wins is right. But I must admit, you've got a point there. Remember when we replaced Timo Werner and Sörloth came on board, or Silva came on board, and especially with Silva, there was a high expectation that he would probably score the same way that Openda does at the moment. But the difference is we have more skillful players than Openda, to the point that we're not really talking about Kunku, that's the right pronunciation in Sächsisch, Kunku, and Szoboszlai, Joshko, okay. We don't really talk about them anymore, which I find quite extraordinary. But don't you think this is just masked by us winning games and scraping through at times?
Don't forget Leimer. Right?
Oh yes, I know. I thought he's still there, but I know he's gone. Still hurts.
Yeah. So we lost him too, and
I know.
Yeah,
okay, but if we talk about everybody, then let's mention Halster. Okay, Halster, really substantial as well.
Yeah, so we lost a lot of goals, and you mentioned it. We had this situation before when Werner left to Chelsea in the summer of 2021. I think it was. Or was it 2020? I don't know. But in my opinion, this time the replacements are from a much higher quality,
Mhm.
and that is also a reason that there's no really drop off in performance result wise. But yeah, there are still a lack of creativity and tempo and how the different parts of our team playing together. But Mark Rose has a lot of hard work to do. I trust him. I believe that is a great boss, a great coach, and he will finally get this puzzle into one piece again, and we will surely see much better performances the longer the season goes.
Mhm. And he also keeps mentioning that there may be times when the team won't get the results because it still will take time to put the pieces in the puzzle together. I think he's trying to prepare us to be more patient. But overall, I'm really content with the situation. We're in the top 5 at the moment, just sitting outside. We've played two top teams like Bayern Munich and Leverkusen, and it turns out to be we played another top team with the VfB Stuttgart. Beat them convincingly, by the way. So I'm really optimistic as we go forward. Another takeaway from the match against Darmstadt versus Darmstadt is really pleased that we did get the 3 points, and at the end of the day with a convincing win as well. And Haidara is getting back into rhythm. I think that is really important. Olmo got some time on the pitch as well. That should pick up as well. I mean, Xavi was taken off at the same time. He may need a little bit of a rest as well. I'm not sure. But to me, the team seemed to be a lot more alert than when they played Bochum. I'm not sure if you can share that impression, but that was my takeaway from this game.
Yeah, there wasn't that drop off we saw against Bochum. There wasn't that this time, so they kept their concentration up until the final whistle. Yes, I spotted that too.
Okay, so we're very optimistic for that one, and we're looking forward to Saturday's clash versus FC Köln, which is something we're going to discuss in our second edition this week on Thursday. So some club-related news. Our Swedish guy, he's turning 32. Bloody hell! 8 years ago, he was much younger. So happy birthday, Emil! Wonderful. We saw some statistics, very impressive as well. We saw some pictures. He did look younger 8 years ago, and there was a picture. He was next to Dominic Kaiser, and Dominic looked like he had a baby face or something at the time. He was very young. But am I right in thinking Emil Forsberg? He scored in every season he's been with us. So my shout out to him is 8 more years. Come on. Get it on. 8 more years, Emil. You can do it. We trust you. Happy birthday, Emil. So that's great. I also heard there's some rumors about Yusuf Pausen extending his contract. What have you heard, Richard?
Mhm. Let me congratulate to Emil first.
Oh, I'm being impolite. I'm so sorry. I'll be quiet.
Jag önskar dig en trevlig födelsedag, Emil.
Did you just insult him?
No, that was Swedish or something like that.
Can you
I
sing
just
that
said,
as well? Is there a melody to it?
yeah, there is this Swedish certain Swedish rhythm there when they're talking. So I say it again, Emil. Jag önskar dig en trevlig födelsedag. So yeah,
Great. Wonderful. Should we do a
Yusuf.
podcast in Swedish at some point?
Mhm.
Doesn't sound convincing to me.
No, not at all. Okay, yeah, the contract extension of Yusuf Poulsen is on the doorstep.
Oh, keep
But
your fingers crossed for that.
yeah, but I just heard rumors, but I don't know for how long. I hope, yeah, for the next, I don't know, 5, 6, 10 years. Okay. Well, Yusuf is probably the first player that we will build a statue in front of the clubhouse. No doubt, no, I'm not lying.
That's a really good idea and well deserved. Yeah. I would probably give some money for that. So yeah, let's keep on listening out for that, and hopefully the rumors are correct and he'll stay longer with us. I think he's a perfect fit as well, and it's really interesting that quite a few of those players who've been around for a while, like Kampe and Yusuf and Emil, would love to stay longer with us. So that's beautiful, and we like to have him around longer. that leads us on nicely to Wednesday. Wednesday,
Mm.
late game I mean, we don't have to get up early in the morning to watch it, but we're gonna be in the stadium, and the second half we're gonna get tired. It's one of those things like 10 o'clock, 10:30. But I'm really looking forward to this one because we never faced this team.
Mm.
In German, we call them Roter Stern Belgrade. I'm not sure if it is in English Red Star Belgrade.
It
I
is.
cannot pronounce the Serbian name. I do apologize, but it's a club that has been around for quite a while. So what have you found out, Richard, about them?
Introducing our next opponent, their ignorant check.
Okay, so let's take a look at the bigger picture first. It is on our week 3 encounter. You mentioned it in the UCL group stage. This is a crucial one because a win here would be a huge step to the minimum goal of reaching the knockout stage. So
The last
imagine,
16, I presume.
last 16,
Not 18,
not
but
18.
16. Yeah.
So yes, some people think there's 18, but this is
I
obviously
don't
wrong.
know. Some playoff spots, wild card.
Yeah, some not football related guys sometimes think it's 18. No, just kidding. Okay, so like imagine RBL wins this match, and assuming Man City wins their game against Bern 2, which is I think is a fair take, then we would have a scenario in which RBL could clinch a spot into the knockout stage round with another win in Belgrade in 2 weeks.
Wow.
So the calculation goes like this. Okay, Man City wins every game and ends up with 12 points after 4 games. And RBL wins there too against Red Star and would be in second place with then 9 points.
Great.
And Red Star and Young Boys in this case would still stick at 1 point each. So a qualification for the knockout stage in mid-November would also take lots of pressure from the team in the final 7 games in 2023.
Because it is very tight, that sketch, isn't it?
Yes, it is indeed. So, okay, Red Star. What is this for a club? It's the reigning champion of Serbia, won their 6th consecutive title. Congratulations, and it's a cup winner too. And they didn't lose a single game in the league in the 2022-2023 season, and was unbeaten in the league for like 65 games in a row. Okay, somehow impressive.
Wow.
But this also tells us something about the strength of the league, which is it's to me clearly behind the top 4 leagues in Europe, and even behind.
I think
top,
that's fair comment.
Yeah, and even behind top tier leagues in Portugal, Belgium, Scotland, and Turkey.
Okay.
So I mentioned that they had this long unbeaten streak in their league, but when they are in international encounters, they're usually struggling and fail to qualify for the UCL in the recent years. They foundered it against Maccabi Haifa last season, against Sheriff Tiraspol from Moldova that season before, and against Nicosia from Cyprus in the 2020-2021 campaign. And the only reason they are in this year's UCL group stage is because of the suspension of the Russian teams. So Serbia moved up 1 spot into UEFA coefficient ranking, and therefore Red Star, as the last season winner, was qualified instantly.
Oh.
Okay, so yeah,
that's okay.
Some background. Okay, let's take a little closer look into the squad. Yeah, it's fair to say that this is an international team, even more than RBL. Players from not less than 17 different countries, I counted,
Jesus.
can be found on their roster.
Wow.
Among those are 7 from 7 different African nations. Quite impressive, yeah. And they have a nice mixture of young and hungry players and experienced pillars on their roster too. But there's at the moment only one player whom the long-term Bundesliga observer might be familiar with. It's number 15, Alexander Dragovic. Did you remember him?
No. Should I?
No, maybe. So obviously you're not the long-term Bundesliga observer.
I failed. I'm so sorry. Pop quiz. Don't take me near your teams. Forget it.
Okay. He spent in total 5 seasons at Bayer Leverkusen.
Okay.
Until he transferred to Red Star in 2021. He's the veteran with lots of international experience, even has 100 caps with the Austrian national team. I'm not quite sure if he's still on because I couldn't find out if he retired from playing for Austria or if Coach Ralf Rangnick just doesn't take him into account in the recent months. So anyway, he is the indisputable leader in their defense and the team's captain. On his side, you can often find number 23, Milan Rodic, and number 33, Zidane Mihailovic, and the very young number 24, Nazar Giaga, a 20-year-old guy from Burkina Faso who joined Red Star recently as a loan from Basel. But in all in all, this is the defense department, right? And this defense might be overwhelmed with the level of tempo and creativity that our attacking department is able to offer. Okay, so Dragovic, despite being extremely experienced, he isn't the fastest anymore. Maybe never has been. And especially number 33, Mihailovic, struggles when being attacked with speed. And the mentioned Giaga is plain and simple not used to be stressed by tricky and speedy strikers like Openda or Xavi. So I'd say, quite frank, the defense is clearly the weakest part of our guests on Wednesday.
So we should be able to exploit that quite efficiently.
Yes. Again, that always helps, obviously. But yeah, I think it shouldn't be a problem to score 2, 3, or even more goals. Okay,
that sounds really optimistic coming from you. Brilliant.
They also got some strengths. Okay, I watched their encounter at Manchester and how they scored a goal, and there are some players who are who could compete in the Bundesliga. I'm sure, and one of them is we have to keep an eye on is number 4, Miko Ivanic. Okay, I think he is the motor of the offense. So decent ball handling, speed, dangers in front of the goal. He also assisted the lonely goal in their 1-3 defeat against Man City. If you look at this goal again, Red Star took over the ball in midfield. And with his first contact, he played a beautiful pass straight into the path of Usman Bukhari. And he finally scored. So be aware of number 4, Mirko Ivanic, the best player in the offense.
So who could stop him?
Yeah,
everybody.
Haidara and then Schlager in the first row, of course, and maybe our center backs, right?
Okay. So
So and the other really talented player in that offense is, I mentioned him, is Usman Bukhari, but I don't know, it's number 30, I think. Anyway, Usman Bukhari, it's the second best offensive force, in my opinion, is probably out due to an injury. I'm not quite sure of that because it wasn't easy to gain some proper information on this. But he wasn't off with Ghana in the recent international break, and he wasn't on the Red Star roster in their last league game against Javor Ivanicia. So the absence of this 24-year-old speedster will be a huge weakening because he scored against Manchester and he scored against Young Boys too, and even added an assist in that match. So Red Star will clearly miss him. He will most likely be replaced by number 9, Sheriff Ndiaye, another African striker. But as far as I have seen footage from him, this isn't as a talented player as Usman Bukhari is. So I mentioned the defense is their weakest part. They have some talented offensive players, but all in all, that shouldn't be really a problem. So my keys to win, and then I'm nearly done with my prediction or with my preview here. Keys to win: attack with tempo, preferred over the side where number 33 Mihailovic is playing. Watch out for number 4 Ivanic. Don't let him too much space with the ball on his feet. And one final word to keeper Glazer from Israel: shoot rather hard than well placed. Okay, he's strong at the goal line, but has shown some weaknesses avoiding rebound opportunities.
So getting those rebounds is going to be key. Well, shooting in the first place, not passing until you're behind the goal, so that would help. But be ready for those rebounds. In terms of score, what is your prediction there?
This time, I expect that we will be scoring at least 2 times in the first half, and
And then we
would
stop.
no, and it wouldn't be a surprise to me if that games end with a 4-0.
Okay, very optimistic. Very good. Do you like to make any prediction in regards to our starting 11?
Of course, let's go.
Hey, let's do the starting 11.
Let's do this, starting 11. Okay, Blažević, indisputable goalkeeper, number one at present. Coach Richards also sends out Henrik, Simakan, Lukeba, Raum in our defense, Schlager and Haidara.
Wow, good.
Yeah, Schlager and Haidara. Keep Campbell on the bench first. So he needs a little rest too.
Yeah, I agree.
Xavi and Forsberg, offensive midfield, and then Openda and Shesko.
Wow. Okay. And here's my weekly question. Any chance for Timo Werner to come on at some point? Well, he did against Darmstadt. He had a big chance and kind of almost got injured in the process of it, I think. But do you think he's going to come on as a substitute?
I hope so. If not, I would might think that there's a serious problem between the coaching staff and Timo Werner if he's not going to play against Red Star. Yeah. So because if he's part of the team and if he shows his will to put everything on this team what he's got in his body in the trainings. So Marco Rose, I think, finally will offer him some opportunities and so if the game develops as I think it will, we will lead by a huge margin late in the second half or maybe mid second half. So why you should not bring Werner as a substitution if he doesn't deserve it?
I agree, yeah. But it seems like every time he comes on, well, either he scores a brilliant goal, like versus Gladbach, and then he gets injured. He's injured after the game. But last week, this weekend when we played Darmstadt, and he had this clear chance, open opportunity, and of course, I'm the coach who sits on the couch, and I don't know, I'm not really the expert there. But you kind of wish that he shows more confidence and just scores instead of bottling it up and then looking like being injured because of that huge chance. It would just help everybody, everybody. I think we haven't fallen out of love with him, and hopefully he hasn't fallen out of love with the club. But all of a sudden, there are other key players who keep performing and keep scoring. It's going to be really hard to get back. And at the moment, it's going to be really difficult to get past Yusuf Paulsen. So that is really a shame. But let's be optimistic, Timo. We believe in you. We told you. And no pressure, but we believe in you. So we were looking forward to Wednesday's clash. So we covered a little bit of key takeaways from the Darmstadt game, had some club-related news, and happy birthday, Emil, whatever Richard said. Must have been happy birthday in Swedish. And I'll look forward or preview to UCL's match. So if you like this episode, if you like listening to us, do drop us a note talk to us at rbleglobaltracks.com. You also can find us on Twitter, and hopefully we'll be back on Thursday with the normal bread and butter football podcast. So, Richard, thank you very much for your thoughts, your participation, and your contribution, which was a lot more than I did. And I'm looking forward to talking to you again on Thursday. Thanks a lot, everyone. Auf geht's, Leipziger Jungs.